I'll tell you, early lesson for me. The very first trip I made to DC, 3 weeks after Jaime was killed. Jaime, like, I had no secrets in my house. My kids, even if I wanted to put a code in my phone, they would have figured it out in 3 seconds. So Jaime, picked up my phone one day and put on random days throughout my calendar what she called Love Jaime Day. And it was like a Valentine's Day on steroids. Whenever it would come up in my calendar, I would text her. Usually she'd be in school, and she'd send me like these little happy emojis or whatever. But that would be the start of Valentine's Day on steroids, and I would just worship my daughter that day. And I never thought about like how much that meant to me until 3 weeks after she died. My very first trip to DC, walking into the Hart Senate building, I get a buzz on my phone, I look at it, it's a calendar reminder, Love Jaime Day. I sat on the stairs of the Hart Senate building, crying like a baby. And then it hit me. That was Jaime sending me a message that she's actually going in the Senate building with me, that she's with me, that she is right here on my shoulder. People always ask, do you get messages? That to me for sure was, and I sucked it up, and I marched into the Senate building, and I started my day. I always now look ahead on my calendar, so I know in advance when Love Jaime Day is coming up, because they're always going to be on my calendar. But listen, how do I get through those moments? Jaime, I remember why I'm doing them. I can't, the day I will publicly turn to mush will be the day that we get to stand with the president who actually is signing gun safety legislation that's meaningful into law. That will be the day where I'll finally deal with a lot of grief that I've kind of bottled up. But I'll worry about it then.
What has been your biggest lesson from all this? What do you wish you could have told yourself a year ago, year and a half ago?
There's two things that we've learned together, Patricia and me. One thing is that we're able to understand that Joaquin was fighting against gun violence way before we started fighting against gun violence. And because we found actual letters and posts and things that he wrote. And that amazed me a lot. I just follow the path that my son gave me. Hey, Dad, this is what I think. This is what I told you when the Vegas shooting happened, when the Pulse nightclub should happen. This is the conversation we had. Remember that? Dad and Mom, remember when we were talking about that in the kitchen? Yes. So that's why we carry Joaquin's, this is a movement from Joaquin. We're just sharing it with the rest of the people. We also talk about this, Fred and me, about those moments that we suffer a lot. But nobody sees those moments. We're not the brave guy that is always on a stage giving speeches here and there, or the guy that goes on stage and paints.
We go home and we miss our kids.
We miss our kids, we cry, we feel really bad. But don't feel bad about us, because then I go back to that same day where they shot Joaquin. That's suffering. I don't even know if that was a slow process of dying or a fast death. And that bothers me a lot. So when I feel that I'm not strong enough or that I'm feeling weak, I gotta get up, be a grown-up father and put my shit together and get out there and do my thing. Because there's no pain also. It's not about me anymore, it's not about Patricia anymore. It's about Joaquin and all the other 40,000, which is so important because we are not staying in the Jaime and Joaquin tragedy. And that's so important. We're not staying in Parkland. We're not staying in Florida. This is beyond schools, this is beyond Parkland, this is beyond Florida, this is beyond Joaquin and Jaime.